Good morning and welcome to Senate Capital Budget Committee. I'm Chairman Senator John Reagan from District 17. And before we get started, we'll go through the checklist. Due to the state of emergency, that's why we're doing the Zoom meeting. We are providing public access to the meeting by phone and video. And we're utilizing Zoom for this meeting. We've provided public notice in the Senate calendar. If you have any problems, you may email remote Senate at ledge.state.nh.us or call 603-271-6931. In the event the public is unable to access, we'll adjourn and reschedule. Please note all votes will be by roll call. And let's start with attendance. I'm Senator John Reagan in my home office by myself. Jeb?
Yes, Jeb Bradley. I'm in Wolfboro and I am by myself.
Gary?
Senator Gary Daniels, I'm at the State House office and my assistant is in the adjoining room.
Lou?
I'm Senator Lou D'Alessandro. I'm in Manchester. I'm in my home and my wife is in the home.
David?
Senator David Waters. I'm in my office at the Legislative Office Building alone.
So what we have today is we had proposed capital budget change schedule that I believe Josh put together as he had the access to the instructions for the ARPA funds. And then we got this monstrous 14-page mess from the legislative budget assistant. And I don't even know how to line the columns up. So I don't know what we need to do with that. And we didn't get a fresh print from the proposed capital budget changes. I don't know if somebody has the most current one of those.
Yeah, I do. I think it was distributed.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, is this I have Senate HB 25 compare report 52521.
Yeah, I have that 14 pages of, yeah.
Senator Reagan, this is Chris from the LBA. I can walk you through that document. It should reflect.
Chris, if anybody could learn how to condense the columns on an Excel spreadsheet, we wouldn't have these problems. But there's nobody in either building that knows how to do that.
Well, I tried to leave all the information for the committee, but I mean, I could certainly take some columns out in the final proposed compare report. But it does have all the suggested changes, I think, that the committee has been considering.
Okay, but I have two proposed capital budget change documents. And they're not the same because they don't have dates on them. So I don't know what we do with any of this. But we're not going to sit here and go through 14 pages of.
I could take you through just to where there's going to be changes based on the most recent list, I believe, that was distributed to all the members. Yeah. I think the last change was to swap out a project, to add a project related to the women's
Prison.
The women's prison, that the building trades building.
Okay. And was the other one was the port situation, right?
Yep.
Chris?
Yep.
And the annotation that goes with that.
Yeah, that's correct. And so I can take you through this rather quickly, Senator Reagan, so the members can see where the adds and deletes and amends are. I can share my screen and do that if you would like.
If you think you can do it quickly, go ahead.
We'll speed it up. So you should be seeing my screen right now. It's administrative services on line 4. On line 23 and line 24 are two projects that are being recommended to be deleted. from Administrative Services. Lines 25 through 34 are all the projects to be added to Administrative Services, including, the Hillsborough County Courthouse cooling tower, the Hillsborough County, the Coas County new parking lot and concrete plaza entrance, the Annex Bancroft ADA connector, et cetera. And again, I think this is something that members have seen. One that is off from this list that was being discussed was the Department of Justice exterior work. And unless there's any questions, I'll just continue to scroll quickly through.
Where's the DOJ line? Which line is that?
It didn't, because that was something that was being talked about and was not part of House Bill 25. It's not on this list.
Okay.
Going to the Department of Corrections, line 46 was the delete of the air handler and ductwork replacement. And then lines 47 through 49 are the various roof replacement projects that were going to be added, and the training center for the New Hampshire Women's Prison for the building trades.
Great.
Under the Department of Education, under line 63, you amended that to add another $400,000 so the bathrooms could be renovated throughout the building instead of just the first floor. Under the Department of Environmental Services, line 67 and then line 69 was adding additional match dollars to each of those programs for the federal amounts. When it came from the governor and House, it was reduced by the 489.4 for the clean water and the 476.2 for the drinking water, which the agency had requested at the start of the process. So that's being added back in. Department of Health and Human Services, line 90, is the delete of the Glencliff home roof replacement. Line 95 is the delete of the New Hampshire Hospital seclusion room. And 96 is the delete of the New Hampshire renovations to comply with health and safety standards. And I should say at this point, I believe the deletes are actually going to be funded with other funds and will come through the fiscal committee. So I neglected to say that at the start of this, but I say that now. And if I'm incorrect, somebody will have to jump in and let me know that. Line 97 and 98 is the addition of the Elderly and Adult Services Systems Modernization. It's a general fund and a federal fund split of 4 million and 2.7 million. That's why there's two lines there. Under the Department of Information Technology on lines 105 through 107, you're deleting all those projects. Again, because I believe they'll be funded in another way. Under the Judicial Branch, you're amending line 111 related to the E-Court. I believe they came in and suggested they could reduce it by 300,000. So that is what you're recommending to do with this chart. And then you added $50,000 for the digitization project so that they can start to scope that out and see what they need to do. So that for the next capital budget, they could put a request in. Under the Military Affairs, lines 122 through 124, you added money for land, $500,000, and then $400,000 of general funds for energy and efficiency improvement statewide. That's a 50-50 match. So you'll see that there's a federal match of $400,000. This is different than the one on line 127. That's 100% federal funds. Moving down to the Natural and Cultural Resources, lines 136 and 137 were deleted, being recommended to be deleted, related to the Mount Washington water system upgrade and the roofing and repairs throughout the park system, excuse me.
Hey, Chris,
Yes.
we just got an email that the AC on police standards and training had failed. That there was going to be like $9,200 replacement or something like that.
Okay.
I didn't know if that was something that would need to be put in or.
Is that an emergency thing, Gary? Because I haven't seen that.
Is this the letter we got?
I'll find the email and I'll get back to you.
Well, thank you. Did you have something on that, Jeb?
Yes, I saw that email too, but I'm looking for it right now.
I have it if you want me to stop sharing this and I can share that letter from,
Chris, go ahead. That's another.
continue with what I'm doing
Yeah,
right now.
You finish what you're doing and then we'll talk about
Okay.
air conditioner.
So we're moving into police standards and training. Lines 144 and 145 are deletes, the air conditioner replacements and the range ventilation and filtration upgrade. Veterans Home is a delete of the master plan update, the $80,000. And that's going to go into House Bill 2. I believe the amendment has already been adopted, but I'd have to double check that. Next is community college system on line 154 is a delete of the engineering technology renovation in the North Country. And you add the Littleton expansion project and the critical maintenance, you added another $460,000 to bring them up to 1.46, which is what the ask was. Department of Safety on line 160 is delete the Emergency Operations Center technology. And then on line 171 under Department of Transportation is the Market Street Marine Terminal project with the state match discretionary funds. And there's a note that was added, and I sent that out late last night or later. I worked with OLS to get something that would be appropriate for the actual bill itself. So they provided this language, which states, if the United States Maritime Administration discretionary grant for the Market Street Marine Terminal project operated by the New Hampshire Division of Ports and Harbors is not approved, the Department of Transportation may use the appropriation for the state match portion of other discretionary grants that become available during the state 2022 and 2023 fiscal biennium with prior approval from the Capital Budget Overview Committee. I believe that was what people were looking to do.
Thank you. That's just right.
And that ends all the changes. So you could vote on this sheet with those changes. And those would be incorporated into the actual House Bill 25 amendment. I would ask two other things though, to consider in your vote. Section 5 of the bill is where you show the bonded amounts. So we would have to amend the total number here from 327 to 330 in the bill. And we would have to change the general fund portion from 112,552 to 112,511. So that would be just more of a technical change, but it would be a change that would occur in section 5 of the bill. And then I believe the committee was considering eliminating section 16 related to the House wish list of projects because many of them are captured on the front end of this. So that's all I have at this point, unless somebody has a question of me or needs me to show you something else.
Okay,
then-
any questions from the committee?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just to the last point from Chris. I mean, obviously that language in House Bill 25 is now obsolete, but is there any need for any language to recognize what we have done with ARPA funding?
So, Mr. Chairman, if I could jump in for a sec.
Sure.
All of the deletion projects have been looked at by the governor's office and Senator Morse and others. And the understanding based on the Department of Treasury guidance that has come so far is that all of the deletions can be moved into the fiscal committee approval process that should happen in early June because they are COVID related or specifically accounted for in what states can use the ARPA fund for. So I just want to make that really clear from the get-go here. So they will be funded.
So Jeb, your understanding might be then that since none of these projects are now really before us in HB 25, that we don't really need to mention them in that language.
And in recollecting, and I don't have HB 25 in front of me right this second, but there were, I don't know, 10 or so wish list projects. I mean, I remember the Cannon Mountain Tramway included in that.
Right.
I think just in terms of how we're going to allocate ARPA funds, down the road, that wish list still exists. It's a House passed version. I don't know that, we need to replicate that in the Senate version. It's out there, and all of us that are going to be, considering how to use the federal dollars can refer to it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I may, Mr. Chairman, it just seems to me we ought to pull it out, because otherwise we would have in statute some recommendation of use of ARPA funds that has been preempted by what fiscal will do, and the lists are different. So I think we need to pull that out.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, do you have that?
To delete section 16.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
So, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion if it suits you.
sure.
So, three-part motion to approve the listed changes that Chris just went through, all of them. Number one. Number two, delete the wish list, which I believe was section 16 of the House Pass version. And number three, to authorize Chris to make the technical adjustments to the bottom line figures that he outlined for us.
Second.
Okay, is everybody good with that?
All right, question.
Gary?
I want to go back to, are we going to do something on those air conditioners that I mentioned? I guess looking at the police standards and training, it looks like they had deleted that. I don't know if it's the same ones or not.
Well, again, Gary, if I could jump in, I think that what did you say was about $10,000 could be added to the air conditioner replacement, as it goes through the fiscal process. That's probably the right place for it to go as, HVAC, that's clearly a COVID-related expenditure. So that shouldn't be a problem, adding that.
How do you note that? How do you note that, Jeff?
Well,
Based on what we've just done here.
Well, we've deleted the air conditioner replacements for, police standards and training. So it just, when it goes to fiscal, Chris will add whatever it is, the $9,700 to that list of air conditioner replacements for fiscal to consider.
That'll
Right?
do it.
Way to do it, Chris?
Yeah, so when the police standards comes forward with that fiscal committee item and working with the governor's office, they should include that as one of the pieces that they would want on the item.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as it's allowable from the money that's available, they can just include it on that item.
Okay.
But they should work with the governor's office and administrative services to get it the way they need it.
Chris, just a question.
Yes.
They indicated that they had planned on doing this in 22 or 23. Now that the thing has failed and summer has not come, is the expectation that they're going to replace that before?
So
the
okay, I guess that
budget?
there's a couple of options. I mean, I believe they could probably reach out to administrative services and ask them about some of the emergency money that they have to hold them over until they could get a fiscal committee item approved. But the fiscal committee is planning on meeting on June 8th to address some of this federal dollars and some of the projects potentially that were deleted from the capital budget. So it may be taken care of as quickly as then. But if
Okay.
it's going to be longer, I think the police standards director could have a conversation with administrative services and work something out to at least temporarily find some money to get it done sooner with the intent that they would repay it at a later time.
Okay.
Couldn't they go to sort of their emergency fund? They've done this in the past.
Yeah.
They did it with the steam lines.
Right.
To be honest with you, they took that money and then we replaced it. So, and from that standpoint, Gary, I would think that they would want to get this done as quickly as possible, because if they have a class there beginning in June, that's when they may need this air conditioning.
Yeah, I expect that. I just want to verify that there was a path forward.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, that's a good
I'm
pickup.
all set, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And we'll call the roll. Senator Bradley,
Yes,
Senator Daniels,
Yes.
Senator D'Alessandro,
Yes,
Senator Waters.
Yes,
Chairman votes yes. We have a unanimous vote. Is there any other business?
thank you, everybody, for all the good work. This is good
thank you,
news.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah,
Good job.
thank
great
you.
job, John.
Yeah, thank you, Jeb. Thank you, Gary. Everybody, great committee. One of the best I've ever served on.
Okay,
Captain Lou, when are you going to be back?
Well, I want to be back. I can't get back this Thursday, but I want to be back next week. The only thing that's bothering me is my groin, Jepster, and I can't walk. So other than that, I'm in great shape.
Yeah, well, I can't carry you in either.
Right. I know that, but thanks for asking, and thank everybody for your good wishes. Really, I'm very thankful, and I'm very thankful. And as I mentioned to some of you, this was a little bit more serious than I had anticipated, and thanks for all of your good thoughts. That's all I can
But
say.
it's good to know you're still covered by the warranty. Lou, and have some more years, huh?
I am, right. The warranty didn't run out on me, David.
okay, seeing no other hands raised, the meeting is adjourned.